Okay, in video 2, featuring the David Mirabile Wakizashi or O TANTO. Again, it is not a traditional piece, so it really doesn't fit into one category. I'm going to cover some of the things that David and I wanted to get out of this blade, what this exercise was about, what it meant to me, and what I'd be using it for. This piece is to get me back into my blade training. Again, I was traditionally trained many years ago. I've kind of adapted a lot of different things, from a lot of the big blade buoy stuff to you name it, into any kind of blade play or swordsmanship that I would practice. So in any way, this is not a traditional Iedo or Japanese sword type video. This is what Joe does, mixing kendo, Iedo, big buoy techniques, you name it. The first thing I want to cover with this piece is its size. I was looking for a piece. A full-size katana is just too long to throw in a truck. It's modern days. You can't carry a sword around anymore. To me, the best hand weapon would be what this is. That's what this was designed for. This was designed as an end-all. What I've taken from all the blade stuff I've ever done and wrapped it into one design, what I want it to be. And that's what this is. First off, it's got to be portable. This is the most important part, just like a sheath or a saya is 50% of a blade. How you're going to actually carry the blade around really counts. This just worked. This is from a friend of mine. This is Rod Jenkins. Rod Jenkins is a former barebow champion, meaning he shoots a recurve or a longbow. He is a world-class coach. He's coached me. He's awesome. He's a great hunter. He's just a great guy. He owns Safari Tough cases. This is a Safari Tough case. This is the exact, by coincidence, the exact size of this Wakizashi, or whatever you want to call it. We're just going to call it this blade. It's the exact size. This is a tri-folded case, meaning it wraps up and rolls up. Very secure, it won't come out. Nice shoulder strap, hand grip. Again, Safari Tough cases. Meant for a takedown recurve, but works for carrying a short sword. What I really want to cover is what I have packaged in this piece. And what this piece basically has, I'll pop it open and show you as I roll out the case. It folds open. I don't know if you can see it. The sword is held down by 2 elastic cords. It's in a traditional silk bag. I like the blue. First thing you'll notice is I took off the beautiful burnt orange Sageo. That was for the pictures. It wasn't really a functional material, but it made for an awesome picture. I put on a traditional Sageo it's made of cotton, nothing fancy. This is a user piece, black and white, to kind of bring out a little bit of color, but still keep with the dark muted theme. So this piece is carried in here. The practice blade is carried here, which is awesome to be able to bring along a practice blade. Just for warming up. You know, my shoulders still aren't up from that motorcycle crash. So I'm trying to get warmed up and back up to speed. You saw the drop. Ooh, there was a guy on a big motorcycle. You guys saw in the opening of the video, there was a drop cut. I had to warm my shoulder up to sit there in Seiza and drop the apple and then draw and cut through. Really torques your shoulder. I've got to get it warmed up when I do stuff like that. One of the neat things about having a practice blade is it's also a healthy piece of oak to have in your truck. It's a nice thing, but basically the training blade fits into the case here. I can remember when I was young, I used to practice my pistol draw over and over again, so much that I gave myself tendonitis in the shoulder. So again, when you're trying to, like in the very beginning on that drop cut, you're dropping an object from right here and reaching and cutting. So you're really moving fast and you're throwing that shoulder, and you gotta warm up before you start doing stuff like that. And that works the same as draw cutting. And draw cutting, which is a very paramount thing to this design. And to discuss that and discuss what we were trying to achieve, you look at this and you go, wow, the saya is really beefy and really thick. And it is. The saya is oversized. I have 3 blades here that are, they're not custom blades. They're good production blades. They're examples to show you. They are built traditionally in the way they're laid out and the way they're constructed. But I want to show you some of the points that we were taking from traditional blades and adapting over and rolling into this modern adaptation. One of the first things you'll notice is this is a traditional tanto size knife. Now again, tantos can be any length up to a certain inches and everything else, but this is a typical tanto. So you can see it next to this piece. This piece is a lot more robust. When it comes to blade size, it is drastically different. As you can see, it's, again, tantos can be a lot of different things, but the point is, this is a fairly typical tanto, okay? Small, or for me, traditionally, the size handle that it would be compared to what that handle is. You can see the width and everything with the blade, a bit different. Now, these are just examples. Next, you have a pretty typical Wakizashi. Again, you can see it in comparison to this piece. You know, again, this a lot more robust, a lot bigger, just a bigger, bulkier piece. But weight-wise, it's actually probably, it feels to be a little lighter, or very close in weight to this. This feels lighter. This is definitely lighter. Then you have another piece here. This is a specialized Gaza cutter blade. Gaza is the tatami mats. This is a blade that you can see how this blade is much broader than the tanto and the Wakizashi there. This is a fairly modern adaptation, a competition cutting blade to cut mats with. It's a ko-katana, meaning it's a short katana. Now you can see in David's blade, all of a sudden we're starting to see the same similar blade thickness. I'm talking about edge to spine. David's is still a bit broader. When it comes to width, this is wider. David's is about the thickness of what that Wakizashi was. So again, they call them specialized Gaza cutters or Goza cutters, right there. Now, one thing I want to show you here is, here's a saya. Here's the mouth of a saya. I don't know if that's coming in or focusing right, but you can see this is probably less than a 1/4 inch thick. Okay. Now, in that drop cut, I'll stand back here so you can see me. I was basically, well, here, let me bring this up. This is called an obi, this belt on me, all right? This obi is, also goes in this case, but I don't have it on. I wrapped it on before the camera turned on. Basically, it's how you put a Japanese sword into your sash. You can use your leather belt, but an obi for actually using, you know, edge up, riding on the ridge of the back of the blade, draw cutting, trying to do things, you know, fast, and having control of your saya, you need a good obi. The obi unwraps, lays right inside this case. Basically, I have the sword, the practice sword, and the obi all there. Whenever I want to put it on, it's like basically a kit ready to roll. But again, now you looked at that saya, and you saw the thickness. Now, again, I'm laying that over on that draw cut where you see me cut that apple. I'm cutting up and out. I've never split through the mouth of a saya, but I have seen sayas split. Now, can you imagine pulling that blade through that wood and catching and getting into your hand? You could cripple yourself, and I'm sure it's happened in life. David's saya is just a monster on steroids. It's not going to cut through. And if you remember from the work in progress, he put a sheet of copper also along the top. So you have wood, copper, carbon fiber. So this blade is a true martial training tool. It's a weapon. It's working off the themes of the Japanese blades, but in no way is it traditional. This is made to be draw cut from almost any angle, at any speed. The way it's worn is, simply put, take your saya, slide it down through your obi, work it in. We'll just put that for there for now. Now this is secure to me, it's there, okay? All you do is, you know, and you'll see when I cut, I never, ever will cut a tatami mat, because the tatami mat is moist and damp inside from being soaked. I'll never cut a tatami mat and then come through and come back to my saya without wiping my blade down, because I'd be basically putting all the junk tatami mat, little particles and dampness, back into my saya and contaminating it. Therefore, when I put my blade back in, it's going to attract rust and cause problems. So you see a lot of guys, in the drop cut I did in the beginning, I went back to go in, but I did not go in because there was apple juice all over my blade. I wasn't going to mess up a beautiful saya that David just spent, you know, a week making. So again, the obi is a critical part. You can use a leather belt, but the obi rides so good, it makes it feel so right. And in those drop cuts, remember, I'm rolling that blade down to here, and I'm drawing up and striking through, which means, simply put, I'm not worried at all about this saya. I've got control here. Now I'm going to show you something that's very cool. This thing breaks like a hair trigger. I can tilt it down. I don't know if you can see it. I can tilt it down. I can shake it. It's not going to come out of the saya. And it still breaks so easily. One thumb, slight push, and it pops. Again, I prefer, you know, to come out like this and come over. That's awesome. And for some cuts, it's a critical way to do it. But I do a lot of side up cuts, and again, I'm popping it, or I'm twisting it, then popping it, and I'm drawing from in here, and I'm drawing straight up like that. I don't have to worry at all about this being cut, because again, we have wood, copper, and carbon fiber. So all in all, we have a very secure, safe saya to do thousands and thousands of draw cuts with. And that's what this blade was designed for. I don't care who you are, you gotta admit, skinning a blade as fast as you can, like drawing a gun as fast as you can. Do you really want to trust that much material? You know, over time, you're slowly wearing it away, slowly wearing it away, slowly wearing it away. And again, this was built to last a lifetime. It was meant to do these draw cuts over and over again. And that's what it was meant to do. And always fit seamlessly like that. David got the fit, he tuned it perfectly. Makes for an awesome package. Some other neat design features on this piece. Besides, you saw the blade. It's mimicking a Goza cutter, or the specialized Goza cutter that they're making today for competition pieces. It's got the slightly longer handle, and the way the sori is, the way the fuller is carved into it, that's called bohai. This blade is a modern adaptation of all these things, and in the next video we're going to actually get into some tatami mat cutting and using the blade. I just wanted to give you guys some quick ideas of what we designed it for and why we were trying to achieve what we were trying to achieve with it. This is going to be used over and over and over again. Guys, thanks for looking. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.